So after this, we get more Nitro Girls, and then Alex Wright comes out and dances with them. And I thought this was a great use of the Nitro Girls to get Alex Wright even more heat. Good stuff there. And he is the Cruiserweight champ at this time, and he just talks to Mean Gene about, and in German, of course, about his upcoming match at Road Wild with Chris Jericho for the title. And yeah, I mean, it's Mean Gene doing some Wiener Schnitzel jokes and such. It's pretty good stuff.
Alex Wright was such a natural heel. I mean, before he was a heel even, he just, I mean, as a teenager, you see this guy out here dancing and everything. It's like, are people really into this? Maybe in the 80s they would have been, but they're not. But then when he turned, it seemed fitting, very underutilized. And I think later on when he transformed to the Berlyn character, I think there was a lot of potential there too. And the ball was dropped again, but he's had a lot of these situations where he could have done a lot more, I think.
Yeah, great talent, could do a lot of cool stuff in the ring. Like I said, a unique body type for that time. I mean, he was so tall and lanky and still obviously a great physique. And then just like you think of him as a cruiserweight champion, but like the dude would be a heavyweight nowadays. Yeah, I mean,
no doubt.
But yeah, Berlyn we could have a whole episode on Berlyn. I agree. That's one of the big misses. I would rank him up there with, even guys like Papa Shango and stuff that with a few tweaks could have made them like big time stars. Berlyn would have been, I think could have been great, but just didn't want to spend the time and didn't have the right stuff going on there.
He had the look. I mean, the entrance, the whole presentation was there. It's just putting him in the right spot. Yeah, exactly. Putting him in the right spot. And I don't think that spot was there because of all the turmoil, obviously in WCW and whatnot. It's just constant changes in who was running the show and everything. He just got lost in the mix, unfortunately.
So we lead right into the former Das Wunderkind defending his Cruiserweight title against Scotty Riggs. Yeah, I kind of forgot about Scotty Riggs as a singles competitor in this era. It's kind of pre-Flock, post-American Males. So kind of interesting now. And first thing I thought was like, Cruiserweight? No, I didn't remember him as a cruiser. I wouldn't call him a cruiserweight, even by WCW standards at the time.
Yeah, and he did not come out clapping, which was a surprise to me because when I think of Scotty Riggs, I think of clapping. And of course, ECW played well on that whole thing. But yeah, just coming out without clapping or anything like that took a lot away.
I know, right? Alex is over, man, with so much heat on the dancing, as you mentioned. Like this was no different. It was a real quick, just bam, bam, bam match. Not a ton here. I thought the double crossbody collision looked brutal. That was one of the moves in the entire show. I was like, ouch. Good stuff there by the guys. A lot of impact. And Alex hits one of Jericho's famed moves, the top rope missile drop kick for the win. They call it out that it was one of Jericho's moves, just rubbing in his face. I know Alex Wright also used the top rope drop kick, but it is what it is. And Alex Wright retains the title in a quick, pretty painless, simple match.
Yeah, it was good for what it was. Hard to remember Jericho as a good guy back then, and you just think right away to the Ralphus stuff and everything. But before that, he was the Lionheart. It was hard to remember that, but that played out here.